Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to our program today. We're going to actually pick up where we left off last week with issues that are happening at this very moment that people have to choose. The thing about you and I is we will choose, and your choice will determine your destiny, and your choice will determine your consequences. I was praying the other day about 35 million evangelical Christians are not registered to vote at a time where we would choose life or death. We would choose the Constitution or we would choose socialism as a nation. I never thought we'd ever get to this place, and still can't believe that we are. And I don't believe that it's as big as the media, the Democrat Party, the Socialist Party, and the Communist Party in this country are making it out to be. I believe America, the Lord is saying, choose, so I can turn back some of the judgment that we are under, and we literally are under many outpourings of judgment of God, but not the final judgment. And there's people prophesying this is the end. They're prophesying November 3rd, it's all over. Well, it's not. And there is a book that I'm offering to our viewers, and I'm going to be talking about that book today. And the world is going to end as we know it. It is amazing what is on the forefront in our nation. It's not what you're hearing, and you don't want to go away, because I'm going to tell you. Well, we're going to talk about today a little bit about the book that I think is one of the, I'm sure it's a bestseller by now. It's The End of the World as We Know It by Pastor Johnny Enlow. He and Elizabeth Enlow, I think he and his wife. And we're going to discuss that book in just a few minutes, but I want to pick up where we left off last week with issues that we need to know about, the content of the issues. And this is in our Face Facts, August 17th. We send it out every week to our intercessors nationwide. They pray in teams, they pray together, they pray over the phone. They know the issues that they're dealing with. I source everything I write. I will not tell you anything that's not sourced. And then with the biblical understanding of where it's coming from, and then the prayer points. So if you are not praying with us, you really need to go to our website, insightUSA.us. That's Insight, INSIGHT, USA.us. And you can read it on the website, but if you'll become a partner with us, you'll get it every week, first class mail, because it's 8 to 10 pages every week. You won't read the same thing twice. You won't hear it any other place. Our intercessors are informed, they are focused, they are anointed, and they are insightful. And we are a patriotic intercessors network. We only pray for America. That's all we do on our prayer calls and with our Face Facts. So in August the 17th, I dealt with the issue of the time, and I want to share a little bit with you today to show you how I arrive at some of the decisions that I make in calling our network to prayer. I take the leadership of this prayer network very seriously. I don't do anything else. I literally, this is it. I write the Face Facts every week. I conduct Saturday prayer calls. People call me all over the country. Our partners support this ministry. I don't have to figure out a gimmick to get people to give so I can be more busy. If we're not making a difference, if we're not seeing answers to our prayers, then we're wasting time. But we do. Our intercessors have seen God turn back the clock on many, many things that the devil thought he was going to be able to do to our country. So maybe you've never prayed before, maybe you've never gotten involved, or maybe you've been with other ministries, other groups, listened to other prophets. I'm going to tell you, if you're not reaping the harvest, if what you're sowing is not bringing back a reward, you're in the wrong place. I don't care who it is, where it is, what they say, how big, how little, how much they think they know, how much they say God said. Don't do it. Listen to the Holy Spirit inside you. I had a lady this week that sent me an email and asked me, how can you know God's voice? And I explained to her how she could differentiate between the flesh, the mind, the world, and hearing God's voice. And you have to be able to do that, but you can't do it until you learn to talk to Him. It's like getting married and never talking to your husband again until you die. Worship and praise is a sacrifice to God, and He receives that sacrifice. But prayer is communication with God. So if you have no clue what you're praying about, or who the enemy is, or what God wants you to do, then you're spinning your wheels. Will you go to heaven? Yeah. Will you be halfway okay down here for a while? But you're going to choose life or death before it's over with. And when God brings you to that final choice, you will suffer the consequences, good or bad, at the decisions that you make. We have the Democrat Party right now that wants to raise taxes. And Joe Biden says in 2019 that he wants the people in America, the wealthy people in this country, to pay their fair share. And I started thinking about that, fair share. And I started looking at all these mobs. Are they paying their fair share? I'm looking at all these domestic terrorists that are out there every day and night. Are they paying their fair share? And I just went on and started researching. What are we paying people who don't work and who bill us for their sex lives? If you get pregnant out of wedlock, you bill the birth of that baby to the taxpayers. Or if you don't want the baby, you kill it and bill the abortion to the taxpayers. And the men who come in and birth the babies, they have nothing to do with it. They're in the streets demanding more. We had some of the crowd that was protesting in New York City, said defund the police because we want better housing. I thought, defund the police, go to work and pay for your own housing. And if you are sexually promiscuous, if you have consequences, you pay for the consequences. Where did it come that it's a right for the taxpayers of this country to pick up the bill for people's illicit behavior? But that seems to be the priority now. And if you dare say anything about it, you're a racist. Well, I'm going to tell you, people, we can't let that take root in our country. It already has taken root in enough of our children. So I went on the internet and I said, pay your fair share. We want equality. And this is the black movement. And let me tell you something. My great-great-grandson is totally black. So don't start racist with me. My granddaughter is biracial. So don't start race with me. I have never loved anybody and never been there. And my whole family has been there because my family is white. But we have made a way for these children. So don't start throwing race at me. because you won't get anywhere with it. Let me tell you, we are not in a racial problem. We are in a plan to overtake our government problem. And since we want a fair share, and since we want equality, then let's call it for that. Look at what I'm saying. It says Joe Biden, quote, "The rich must pay fair share of taxes." And then I write, people in mobs should pay the fair share, and we could balance the budget. What is the spending on welfare? In fiscal year 2019, the total U.S. government spending on welfare, federal, state, and local, was guesstimated to be $1 trillion 93 billion dollars. Let me tell you that again. 2019, federal, state, local, guesstimated welfare spending $1 trillion 93 billion, including $634 billion for Medicaid, $459 billion in other welfare payoffs. In our Face Facts, August 19th, I want to say that again because it's on the website. I'd love for you to become a partner. I'd love for you to pray with us every week. If you'll send us your name and address and say, "Faye, put me on your mailing list," we'll be glad to do it. We go first class mail every week. We ask for you to become a partner, a monthly partner. If you could give a one-time gift, praise God, help us get the word out. But what we are not seeing is what the federal government is doing on people that are not paying their fair share. I have the recent welfare spending, and it says the recent welfare spending, the welfare spending increased sharply in the states in the 2000s for different reasons. I show you in our Face Facts where this welfare spending is, and this will show you states that are going to vote Democrat, and then states that vote Republican. You can see I have listed in this Face Facts every state, how many people in that state are on welfare, and the protesters are in the streets, black and white. This is not a black issue, saying defund the police and give more money for housing, give more money to the mobs, give more money to women who have babies out of wedlock that the taxpayers have to take care of. There's got to be a change, and that change has got to come in this election by putting decent people in our Congress, because they're the ones that spend your money. I'll be right back. Well, hello, partners and friends. I just want to take a minute. Time goes so fast on our program. We could do 3 or 4 or 5 shows with just the time we take to do this one if we were able to afford the airtime and the production time. And that's why I'm asking you, please help us get our message out. The offer that we're making today with this book is a must-read book. You're going to have hope. You're going to know that God's not done. You're going to know that Satan is bound over our country, and we are going to win. But we have to fight till the end. I love America so much. I've traveled all over the world, stood on Hitler's bunker, which was a bungee jump when I'm there. I'm told it's a parking lot now. And I know that God has great plans for our children. Revival is coming. Will you sow an action seed today of $100 or more and help us reach the youth? Well, welcome back, everybody. And if you're still with me, then you've got hope. That's all I can tell you. Why do I give you information like I just gave you here, and then on our last week's show and in our Face Facts on the website, on Facebook? And if you would go to YouTube, Insight USA TV, and register, you will be able to see this program or email it to people, or have your friends watch it and say, did you hear what Faye is saying? I'm saying to you, the election determines who spends our money and how they are spending it. And I'm going to tell you, you can't just blame everything on the Democrats, because I want to tell you right now, the Republicans are just as bad in most places. When we had the White House, we had the Senate, we had the Congress, the Republicans went right along with all the spending, all of the welfare, everything. But what we're talking about now are mobs in the streets, defined as protesters. And I've asked over and over and over again, why are they protesting? They show up and they harass people, they invade privacy, they threaten people, they slander the White House, our president, our government. I've never seen anything like it. Why are they protesting? And they're saying because white policemen kill black men. Well, if a white policeman kills a black man unjustly, we have laws that will take care of that man. And when the whole nation says, yes, that was the wrong thing to do, we are stunned that any color of man would deliberately murder anybody. How can we just say, well, if one color murders and the other color does the murdering? We're having that all over America. And instead of talking about the sin, instead of the churches being involved, instead of pastors going in and preaching that Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy, Jesus said, I've come that you might have life. And in the manifesto of the Democrat Party, God is not mentioned anywhere. They've got their plan, and I've got a little summary of it here somewhere, and they do not mention God, and it's the Binders-Sanders unity plan that if the Democrats win, God is left out of that plan, and it's in my August 17th Face Facts. And what they're saying is that the riots and the murderers, and in Chicago, white policemen are not killing black people in Chicago, and the murders of the weekend is unbelievable. And they've got their priorities wrong. Instead of telling everybody, this crosses all racial boundaries. You can't sin without consequences. You can't murder people. You can't rape people. You can't invade privacy. You can't steal what belongs. You can't burn down their businesses. You can't do that here. It's against the law. But the lawlessness comes from an investment of George Soros, and it's on the internet. You can go look it up. Billions and billions of dollars. George Soros. He is the founding, George Soros. He was born Schwartz Geigery. He was born Jewish, August the 12th, 1930, in Hungary. And he was born in Budapest. And he has been in the United States since 1956. And in this Face Facts, it tells how many billions of dollars he has invested. Open Society Foundation, Soros had transferred $18 billion of his fortune towards funding the future work of foundations, bringing the total to the foundations in 1984, $32 billion. And this is what he says: I believe that in philanthropy, one should do the right thing, whether or not it succeeds. He is behind, with billions and billions of dollars, one of the richest men in the world, made his wealth here off the U.S. dollars in our stock market, but he wants to overthrow our government, and it's a fact. And he confesses it, and he's using Sanders to bring it to pass, and the propaganda is going unquestioned. While Christians pass the buck and say, oh, we are bipartisan. We're standing over here, and we're not going to get in it. Well, you are in it. But what's happened is God is bringing true prophetic warnings out. 35 million evangelical Christians are not registered to vote. So what I'm asking people to do, get on our mailing list. Hand our face facts to people that just say, read this and see what you think. It's happening all over the country. And when people are seeing the facts, they say, I don't believe it. I don't go along with that. I don't believe that. You mean my standing here is helping this to come to pass? Yes. And they're changing their hearts over and over again. The book that we're offering our viewers this week is unprecedented. And the pastor that wrote the book has insight from God like you would not believe. He's a best-selling author. He and his wife, Pastor Johnny Enlow, believes that often there is a great awakening. We experience a rude awakening, a shaking. Throughout history, landscape shaping revival, societal reformation have often come just at the other side of the earth, shattering crisis. If the magnitude of the crisis gives one a prophetic glimpse of glory, transformation, and revival that is to come, then be encouraged. The prophetic book will infuse you with hope, confidence, providing you with a biblical framework on how to navigate uncertain days of crisis, fear, and calamity. I didn't see how many minutes. Okay. This is what you're going to do. You're going to receive strength and courage to cross over through the crisis. You're going to have a stable, Bible-based perspective on the end times. Gain access to special prophetic intelligence. The book is a must. If you just donate $100 or whatever God would allow you to donate, and say, Faye, we want your voice to go viral. We want your face facts to get in the hands of politicians and to Christians who think that their choice doesn't make a difference. You will choose. There will be consequences to that choice. You can have blood on your hands by voting for people who mock God, who think you can abort a baby up to its last breath or first breath. You can stand against God or you can stand for Him. Choice is yours. Well, hello, partners and friends. I just want to take a minute. Time goes so fast on our program. We could do 3 or 4 or 5 shows with just the time we take to do this one if we were able to afford the airtime and the production time. And that's why I'm asking you, please help us get our message out. The offer that we're making today with this book is a must-read book. You're going to have hope. You're going to know that God's not done. You're going to know that Satan is bound over our country, and we are going to win. But we have to fight till the end. I love America so much. I've traveled all over the world, stood on Hitler's bunker, which was a bungee jump when I'm there. I'm told it's a parking lot now. And I know that God has great plans for our children. Revival is coming. Will you sow an action seed today of $100 or more and help us reach the youth? Well, time goes so fast, but you have to get your face facts to August 17th. Face Facts says that Joe Biden says we need to tax the rich. And I just want to show you what they're doing with their money. Over $1 trillion was spent on welfare in 2019. I put the states and how many people in those states are on welfare. What we need are for these people to go to work. We need for them to pay their own taxes. We need for them, and this crosses over gender, race, nationality, all America. Take care of yourself. And we need that message to come out loud and clear. I want for everyone that'll donate $100 this week or more, I have a book that you have to have. It's called The End of the World as We Know It, a prophetic word for entering the new era. It says, what happens over the next few hours and days, everyone remain calm. This is not the end, but only the end of the world as we know it. It is the most awesome book, and it gives the future as God says. I believe that we have many more years of harvest. I believe God is raising up laborers to go into the field of harvest. Will you donate today $1,000 if God has blessed you? Help us get our message out. Help us go viral with this information. We have people who need God. Our young people need God. It is not okay to kill people. It is not okay to rape people. It is not okay to break laws and then sue the police for arresting you. It is not okay to have babies and bill it to the taxpayers. I have this is insanity. You have to request it. August 17th, please let us hear from you. I want to thank all of our new viewers and my partners. If you can become a monthly partner, whatever God would allow you to do, will you do it today? Will you pray with us Saturdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Time? I lead a prayer and briefing call. The number is 712-0900, and you have to email me to get the access code. Our intercessor are God's best, and I am looking forward to having representatives in every state in the United States before November the 3rd. I look forward to seeing you.
Faye wants to hear from you. Her desire to see America come out of exile is raising up one of the most powerful, informed, anointed, and united prayer networks in America for America. She is organizing Christians for the U.S. Constitution to give uncompromising believers back their voice and witness. If this program has blessed you and you believe in what Faye is doing, contact her, pray with and for her, partner with her. She would love for you to host an Insight rally in your church or city. Organize an Intercessors with Insight prayer team or join one. For a complimentary pocket-sized constitution or Faye's fax, call or email Faye. faye.usainsight@gmail.com. Write Insight USA.